Incredible. Well, there's nothing more exciting than a test match that goes with all results possible on its final day. And there's probably nothing more exciting than a fast bowler managing to get all of us at the edge of our seat with some terrific bowling on a pitch that wasn't offering assistance throughout this test for the seamers. Jasprit Bumrah's day at the Oval, and he's ensured that India on the cusp of what would be a historic win. First time since 1986 that India would have won two tests on an England tour. It's inevitable now. That's why we can use that language. But it's ESPN Cricket for match day tea at lunch. Neither Steve Harmison nor VVS Laxman thought that this is where this game would be a tea. Even though Laxman was optimistic about 10 Indian wickets, he expected the drama to come in the last session of play. But what a treat, what a privilege, Lakshman, that we got to witness Jasprit Bumrah bowl the way we did.
Absolutely. And while you're reading about Jasprit Bumrah, I thought as a bowling unit, India were terrific today. Right from the word go on a flat wicket. Yes, there was some help as far as the reverse swing is concerned, but the intensity, and the purpose in each and every delivery they were bowling was just phenomenal. And the way they were bending their back. And credit to Virat Kohli, I thought his bowling changes were immaculate. His field placements were fantastic.
Mm.
But all this will look good, and the captain will look good when the bowlers execute their plan and bowl to their field. And I thought all of them were fantastic. And the way Bumrah got rid of Pope, and then probably the way he got rid of Johnny Bairstow sums it up. The desperation was there in the entire Indian bowling lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to get Steve Harmison on this. I mean, even though he might be disappointed from what he's seen for England, he'd probably lean towards a sense of thrill when he watches a fast bowler do what he does on what's a flat surface. Period of 6 overs from Bumrah, Steve, 2 wickets, 6 runs, 3 maidens, and it just turned the momentum of this test match. Take me through that spell.
Yeah, he did, and it was brilliant to watch, and it was absolutely brilliant to watch, even from an Englishman. As a former fast bowler, there's nothing better, and VVS will probably back me up on this. There's nothing better to watch, but there's nothing more frantic to be in a dressing room when a fast bowler or a mystery spinner is going, at their peak and at their best. Because the change rooms are scurrying around, getting pads on, and watching and seeing the reverse swing or the mystery spin. But for me, Bumrah was brilliant. He's blown this game, out of water for England. And we said at lunchtime, what is Virat Kohli going to do with his bowling change? Well, I was bang on saying, Bumrah, give me one last effort. Boy, he did. I thought the lengths he bowled were brilliant. I thought the intensity he bowled was fantastic. I thought the disciplines, the areas he bowled, and the consistency and pressure put on the England batsman was unbelievable, and he needed an end. All he needed was one end to open up, and he would go hard at it. Good ball into length for Pope, and that's how you bowl reverse swing in England. You bowl into the pitch, back onto sort of the middle of the stumps because you get the lavish movement. It was excellent, and I thought the one that got best was an absolute beauty. Joe Root kept one out a little bit later on, and I think there's only Joe Root in world cricket could have kept that out the way he's performing at the minute. Johnny Bairstow wasn't up to it, and that was it. Game over, game set, match for Virat Kohli, and well done, India.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to explore this Bumrah chat more, and I'm going to do that. We're going to come to Jadeja, Shardul Thakur, other participants that have contributed. But Lakshman, we spoke of how impactful reverse swing could be. We started talking about, whether this could be a big factor in the middle session. It seemed to work largely and only for Bumrah, not for the other seamers that came before and after soon. What did Bumrah make happen?
I think two things. Number one is the way he uses the crease and releases the ball. I think his wrist position is perfect for whenever the ball reverses, and the speed which he has got,
Yeah.
and that is his strength. The pace at which he releases the ball. I think that's something which surprises the best of batsmen and the batsmen in form. And I think that's why he's very awkward. It's almost like when Malinga started his career. Just to play Malinga was so different for batsmen, even though they have been experienced batsmen who have played probably the best of bowlers. But just facing Malinga was very awkward. I think Bumrah also will be in the same category. And the extra pace and the zip he gets from the surface is something which was missing. And I remember talking during the Nottingham Test match. In the World Test Championship and even before that, Bumrah struggled a bit for a period of 6 to 8 months, because whenever Bumrah was at his best, even though he was playing white ball cricket or red ball cricket, he used to get that extra pace, extra bounce, extra zip from the wicket. That was missing. But from Nottingham, he got back that extra zip, and that's why it hurries the batsman, and that's why he's a special bowler. He's a very, very special bowler, and for me, he's the best bowler in all the three formats in world cricket at the moment, and just an extraordinary skill which he possesses, and he's so calm and composed. You don't see that over aggression, over enthusiasm. He's so calm in the way he goes about his business.
And there's so much to like about Bumrah. We talk about gears for batters more in one day cricket than test cricket, Steve. But what about a gear for a fast bowler? Suddenly it seemed like in that spell, Bumrah knew that if he puts a little more in, he could get a lot more out. Is that happened to bowlers as well, where suddenly you're looking at a different level of intensity and the outcomes as well?
Well, for me, you just look to try and get things going in your favour. And what India had pre-lunch was the ball was starting to reverse swing. We didn't see a lot of Jasprit Bumrah last hour of that first session, and I think Virat Kohli's kept him up his sleeve. I think Virat knew and understood that, right, let's just keep him till lunch, get 40 minutes with his feet up, get a massage into him, get the physio into him, get him right and ready to go and ask him for one big burst. And I think that's what the Indian captain was looking for, and he probably had that as a game plan right at the back end of that first session, and it's worked perfect. His rhythm was just beautiful. The areas he hit it was so intense. There was so much velocity on it, and it was very, very difficult for a batsman to come out and start their innings. And that, for me, I remember growing up, in the sort of mid-90s, and Pakistan came to England, and England had a fantastic side, and they used a reader ball, and it was like England were 100 for 1 every Test match, and then all out for 170, 180, and the likes of what you witnessed then was the Waqar and Wasim at their best. I tell you what, that spells rival anything that anybody else can do with a reverse swinging ball. I thought that was an absolutely brilliant spell of fast bowling.
And Laxman's already rated Bumrah at least as the best all format bowler from, I think, an India point of view, a world point of view as well. Laxman,
for me, world point of view.
Yeah.
All right, Steve, from the bowlers that
agree.
Coming to England, you'd go with that.
Totally agree. Mitchell Starc, I don't think is as potent in Test match cricket. I think is Pat Cummins as potent in the sort of one-day cricket than what Bumrah is. Jimmy Anderson, best Test bowler that there is going. Jasprit Bumrah for me. You get him in all formats, red or white ball, shorter format, longer format of one-day cricket or Test match cricket. This guy has got every tool he needs. I think he's just showed and blown a game on a surface which no fast bowler could bowl on in this Test match so far, and he's just blown the game in 6 overs for me, and that's why India are in a winning position.
I think this is
and Robert, just to add on that, why it's so exciting is not in the recent past, at least, we have not seen someone who bowls in Test match cricket Yorkers with that kind of accuracy. I mean, to bowl Yorkers one after other with that kind of accuracy, you require a lot of confidence and also a lot of prep. So I think Bumrah executed all those Yorkers to perfection. And it's very, very difficult for a newcomer to come and straight away play or dig out those kind of Yorkers. So phenomenal bowling. I think a lot of guys can get swing, can use the pitch conditions by getting lateral movement, but to execute those Yorkers to perfection, it's very difficult, because if you ask any bowler, and we can ask Steve also, executing Yorker is probably the toughest for any bowler.
Yeah. Steve, you'd like to elaborate on that? More so when it's the 4th Test and you've bowled 40, 50 overs in this Test already on a road.
Yeah, it is, and the Yorker in Test match cricket is probably underused. But to go back to what you were saying, he's took the pitch out of the equation. This pitch has been nice to bat on. This pitch has been awful for a seam bowler to bowl on. Very little lateral movement. Nothing's happening until that reverse swing. So for somebody to take the pitch out of the equation is a special talent. And for me, that's why he's probably one of the best of multi-format in the world at this minute in time.
I guess it's an important conversation to come back to. We'll spend this tea show talking about Bumrah, and we'll wrap up all the other elements which will come soon, you think, after T1's play resumes. But Lakshman, it's an important point. It's a conversation that needs some context. And we're not just getting carried away by one session or the recency of it. Bumrah has played a lot of Test cricket in favourable conditions. He doesn't play a lot at home. They manage his workload as such. He went into the World Test Championship final and he looked either overworked or undercooked for these conditions, when wicketless. He didn't play every test in England last time in 2018. This series, you think, has gone a long way in establishing that for Bumrah's, establishing that case for Bumrah, that this is now undoubtedly a world-class test bowler?
No, I think the series in Australia
Yeah.
in 2018, I think that series itself established him as a world-class test bowler.
Hmm.
He followed it up even when he was the last time round. Yeah, the reason he doesn't play in India is because he's such an important member of this Indian team in all the three formats. So you have to manage workloads, and in India, the bulk of the wickets are taken by the spinners. The wickets are prepared where the spinners come into play very early on. So I think it's clever thinking, smart thinking to look after the workload of a bowler who is invaluable, keeping in mind the T20 World Cup, keeping in mind the other World Cups which are coming up. And as far as the World Test Championship final is concerned, I just feel that he didn't have enough overs with red ball coming into
Hmm.
that match. Because when you're playing a T20 format, when you're playing one-day format, the lengths you bowl is not ideal when you're playing your first match in England. Because we talked about the lengths Indian fast bowlers bowl. It was ideal for a T20 format where you hit the length, you cramp up the batsman, not giving any room. Whereas in Test match cricket in England, you have to pitch the ball fuller. And that was the difference what we saw in Nottingham from the Southampton World Test Championship finals. But all over the world, whether it's South Africa, whether it's West Indies, where I think he was brilliant when India toured there last time. In Australia, he didn't play to his potential or do well in New Zealand in those two Test matches. But other than that, I think he performed whenever he got an opportunity to play for the country.
Hmm. Right. Well, it's been a heck of a session for Jasprit Bumrah. He's also the fastest Indian pacer to 100 Test wickets. He'll take that little cap out of this Test match too. But the floodgates were opened when Hasib Hamid's stumps were exposed, and Ravindra Jadeja triggered that in the 62nd over. 4 wickets fell in the next, 3 fell in the next 7. So that essentially turned the tide of the game. Hamid looked solid at lunch. That was the conversation we were having. Steve Jadeja had his impact as well. Kohli spoke of the footmarks and the rough for the left-hander. Moeen Ali saw that too. Jadeja probably triggered this too.
Yeah, he did, and Hamid looked very comfortable, but it just a split second before Hamid was going to make contact with the ball from Jadeja, it just looked as though he lost his balance. He looked as though he got out to where he wanted to be. His hands were in a good position, and I'm not sure whether he stepped on a foot or just completely lost his step for a second. And that's the fine margin in Test cricket, and he just lost his balance. Missed the outside edge, and it was a beauty from Jadeja, and it got it going. And like we said, all this Jasprit Bumrah chat and all the stuff with a reverse swing and all the stuff that India wanted, the biggest thing they'll have been asking for was an end open. We need to make an end where we get a new batsman in, and that happened when Jadeja got one just to go past the outside of Hasim Hamid. And Moeen Ali, again, it spat, got an inside edge, and the wicket went, and obviously the big wicket then was Shardul Thakur getting Joe Root. And for me, I was watching Thakur run up, and I felt he's running like me at the moment. I'm 42-year-old, 5 stone heavier than I was then, and he's running in, and I was thinking, are you going to get there? Is he going to get there? And he got done for lack of pace, Joe Root. But hey, what a game Thakur's had. What is it, 117 runs, 3 wickets, which was Pope in the first innings when he was on 81, Burns when he was on 50, and it was game, set, match once Joe Root had chopped onto the stump. So, good luck picking man of the match in this game.
Yeah. Jadeja played his part, Lakshman, but let's go to Shardul Thakur, who seems like he's just got the golden touch. We've seen it in white ball cricket, but he just comes in and just gets a wicket.
Yeah, I think the Indian team and Virat Kohli wouldn't be, they're okay with that. They're not complaining because I totally agree with Harmison. I think the first spell today was with a lot of intensity. But I think he's got that wicket-taking luck, and some bowlers have that. I've seen in my career, I've seen whenever I was watching cricket or started following the game. There's some bowlers who just get wickets.
Come on,
How
tell
they
me,
do that, no one
name
knows, but
names.
just
Come
get
on,
wickets.
name
And
names,
this guy,
Laxman.
but
Name
but
names.
but Robert, this guy is getting the best batsman in
Yeah,
Nottingham. He gets Joe Root out. Here again, because till the time Joe Root was on the crease, England will still were having their hopes of saving this Test match. But that's twice he got rid of Joe Root. So I think Virat Kohli is not complaining. Neither I am.
yeah, yeah. I mean, is it even worth a question like, oh, what did Shardul Thakur do on that ball to get Joe Root? It doesn't.
No,
It doesn't seem like he did anything.
That was
he
a change
was.
of pace from Shardul Thakur.
It was the first ball it was his first ball of his spell, and he's obviously he's still a bit stiff and a bit sore, and he's running in and he's trying to get to the crease. But actually, I think he's perfectly made for English conditions. He looks to swing the ball away. He can hit the deck if need be. He looks as though he's got quite a good cricket brain, and he balances the India side out nicely. So for me, yeah, he has got the golden touch. He does understand the situation, and he's been a good addition to this India side. It's just about keeping him fit. I think that's the issue with Shardul Thakur.
He's actually fit. I think this is the fit version, Steve. You might be able to get.
I mean, without injured, not physically
Yeah,
fit.
yeah,
He just
sure,
looks.
sure.
He got injured in between the two Test series in the Test series. So
I get you. I get you. But on a very serious note, Lakshman, it happens. Joe Root's been dismissed twice to him now, and he didn't play one of the tests. Yeah, Shardul didn't play two tests. Shardul Thakur. Does it happen sometimes that you just want the odd bowler in the opposition, even if you're the best batter, you somehow just get annoyed, you get irritated by him, and he finds ways of just getting you out.
Yeah, I'm just remembering what Sachin always used to tell. Sachin used to
Hmm.
face the quickest bowlers in world cricket, and for him, the bowler who troubled him was Ansi Cronier.
Fancy Cornier, yeah.
So it happens. It happens. And I think I don't think that Joe Root has got a problem facing Shardul Thakur, but it's
Yeah.
just that Shardul Thakur has got a wicket-taking luck. We saw even in that T20 series against England, or the one day series against England in India, where the wickets were flat and the English batsmen were just going hammer and tongs against the Indian bowlers, and suddenly Shardul Thakur comes and he picks up two or three wickets, and changes the entire momentum of the game towards India. So I think he's got that ability. I just hope that he gets better as far as his bowling is concerned, because I think with his batting, with his attitude, and with his situational awareness, if he can get more penetrative and if he can be more effective with the ball, I think he'll be a very good Test match player for India.
I tell you what the future holds for Shardul Thakur is a discussion we should have at the end of this test match. You think with the impact he's had, you want to play him every time in the 11. Somehow, it just doesn't seem like it's going to be a given with the way this team goes. But this team is on the cusp of a second test win in this series. So Steve Harmison and VVS Lakshman will take a short break. I don't think it'll be long before we're back discussing a full wrap of this test match, especially with the eighth wicket and Chris Wokes falling. You think the last recognized batter in this Indian side. Lakshman Harmison, thank you very much. Pick this chat up after 2 wickets time on ESPN to confirm match day. We will look back at this test match. We'll also look ahead to what this sets up now. A remarkable fifth test match. It would be a terrific comeback after Headingley for India. All that after the last 2 wickets. Join us then.